Good morning, YouTube. Welcome in. Today we got a beautiful build for you. Today we're building HMAY's new PC. If you don't know who she is a demon in the Warzone space. Check out one of her clips right here. But today we're building her brand new system. She's been getting good frames, but she wants even more. So today we're building the 7800 X3D, and we're pairing it with a 4070 Ti. We're putting this all in the beautiful CK560, which you haven't seen before on the stream. Big shout out to Deepcool for sending that over for us, as well as the LS520 to make sure our system is cooled really, really well. We're pairing that with Kingston 6400 megahertz of DDR5, all on the beautiful B650 board coming in from MSI. Let us know what you think down below in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button, and remember to hit that subscribe button. Remember, we build these systems live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Stince at 10 a.m. Eastern, and we hope to see you soon. Oh, I almost had the one take. And I just little bit, but looks good, looks good. It's a beautiful little system. All right, so let's talk about the parts. Again, we have the 7800 X3D coming in today. So fantastic CPU coming in from obviously the new AM5 platform. Pairing it with a 4070 Ti from MSI. That is a white gaming X Trio today, and we're putting in the beautiful white CK560. I don't think you've seen this before on the channel. It's a great little case. Deepcool, big shout out to Deepcool, Kingston, and MSI for coming through with the parts today for HMAY's build. We're trying to get a really good system for her. She's had a big expensive move on over here. They helped out tremendously by getting these parts over and helping sponsor today's build for her. So shout out to Kingston, shout out to MSI, shout out to Deepcool for always providing amazing components here at Stince Builds. So we have the CK560 again, with the LS520, with the B650 Edge board today from MSI. 6400 megahertz of DDR5. We might be tuning it down to 6200 megahertz or 6000 megahertz. We'll see how it does. Some CPUs like it, some CPUs do not. We'll get that all dialed in here post stream. We had a 1 terabyte KC3000 drive coming in today from Kingston. I guess we're putting all in the CK560. We're cooling with the 520 LS520 from Deepcool. And we got an 850 watt MSI AG850 PCIe 5 ATX 3.0 power supply from MSI. Let's get started, guys. So we head over to the build station. Let's get started with this beautiful build. I will see you guys over there. Let's go. Carter's Beast, the 4070 Ti is fantastic. Honestly, I think right now, the pricing, I wish the price would go down just a little bit more on 4070 Ti, but honestly, it's one of the best bang for bucks right now. I mean, they're all really good. Let's talk about the reasons why the 40 series are good. They are a little power hungry, but the 4070 Ti and 4070 aren't as bad as obviously some of the higher end boards. What I really like about them is that they're very cool. So a 30 series, one of the biggest fails of the 30 series was the cooling. Everything from the memory was getting really hot, the cores getting really hot. It was just it wasn't set up as good as the 40 series were. So they had a little bit of iffiness with the 30 series, but they really turned that around. They really turned that around with the 40 series. They are, well, I said some of them are power hungry. They are very cool. They run very well. We're starting off with the 7800 X3D coming in from Ryzen. It's an AM5, Ryzen 7 CPU, 8-core CPU. Utilizing that new V-cache. New V-cache, I mean, obviously we've had that now in the second generation. This is the second generation of those 3D cache. Let's check out the socket. We're gonna pop in this CPU. Pop this up. Make sure the socket looks good on the board. No bend pins, good to go. 7800 X3D is one of the best CPUs in the market right now. Yes, it's one of the best. It is positioned to be one of the best value and performance-based gaming PCs in the market. Really, in terms of performance, I would say that you have four to five CPUs that are just absolutely killer. And we'll start with them. We'll go through them right now. If you're getting into gaming right now and you're looking for the best CPU, you're gonna have a few CPUs you can choose. If you're gonna go with Ryzen and you want strictly just gaming, maybe a little bit of light streaming, the 7800 X3D, 100%. If you're going for a little bit more power efficient, also just like this system, I mean, this CPU runs like 80 watts when you're gaming. If you're looking for a little bit more, something a little bit more efficient, maybe a little more budgetized, the 7600X or the 7700X, fantastic. If you want to go with Intel, obviously Intel they're going to pump as much power as they can into these CPUs. They're going to try and get the most single core clock speeds that you can. The 13600K is probably one of the best value propositions from Intel's. The 13.5, 13.4s are very good as well, but you're not going to get any in the K or the overclocking. You're mostly just going to mess around with the RAM there. If you're going to get into pure raw performance and you want the best frame rates, it comes blow to blow. The 7800X3D, the 13.7, 13.9s are all going to be very comparable in performance. They're going to, in some titles, AMD is going to have a little bit of an edge, and some titles, Intel is going to have quite a bit of an edge. We see it across the board in multiple games. In Tarkov, very similar. The X3D might have better spots. The 13900Ks might have better scenarios as well. So they're going to run really hand in hand there. The 13.6 though is still in Tarkov, one of my opinions, to be one of the best. This is going to be darn near close to it, and then followed by the 13.9, 13.7 right there in that space. Really good CPUs. I mean, it's a great time to be building PCs right now because DDR5 RAM has gone down in price. There's a really good competition of CPUs in the market, which ultimately drives competition, drives price down, makes things more affordable for the consumer, which is really, really good to see. That being said, let me end my rant. There we go. So if you're going with a low power CPU, I'm talking like a 13400, a 13500, 7600X, maybe even a 7700X, something that's not drawing so much power. Right now, one of the best CPUs is going to be, or one of the best CPU coolers is going to be the AK400. I'll show you guys really quick. The AK400 from Deepcool. Roddy's grabbing one for me right now. If you don't need a lot of power, you don't need to have a 240 IO. This cooler right here, which we stock, which we love, is zero dark. Yeah, we have the zero dark version. The AK400 right here. This is one of the best CPU coolers on the market. For any kind of thermal performance, I think you can go up to like 150, I think, TDP on these. I believe it's 150 TDP is what they call for, what they recommend. Really quiet, really efficient. This really is kind of like I don't know if you guys remember the 212 EVOs, the V-True V5s, all those CPU coolers. It took that premise, that budgetized cooler, and they made it better. They made it sleeker. They make it look really nice. I'll pop it open for you guys. Hashtag not an ad, but just telling you how good this cooler is. I just think it looks visually, it looks really nice too. There's our Deepcool looking absolutely fantastic. CPU best for Tarkov. CPUs best for Tarkov right now are going to be 13600K, 13700K, 13900K, and the 7800X3D. Those are the best 4 CPUs right now for Tarkov. Paired with good DDR5 and a good, I'd say like a 4070 and above. You're gonna be really good. Let's get back to where we were. We gotta put the NVMe drive in next chat. Today we're using the KC3000 NVMe drive from Kingston. I said before, this is an enterprise grade drive. It's not flashy. It's not like, I would say it's not flashy in terms of being like, oh, it's a high-end gaming drive, but man, it performs like one. It's an enterprise grade drive that Kingston's come out with, and it's absolutely killer for the price. The AIOs are good. I'll tell you what though, these these AK coolers, AK620, the AK400, they've been really, really efficient, and they stay really cool. I am running the AK620 on one of my own personal rigs as well. I went away from an NZXT Z73 and went to an AK620, and it's fantastic. There we go. KC drive is in. Next, we're gonna work on our cooler standoffs. That's LS520 cooler standoffs. Deepcool's been a really good company. We've used the Castles for years, and they perform very well. But yes, they've done a lot lately. Yes, I mean, a lot of big streamers are using their coolers on their PCs. They've been great. I mean, the amount of coolers we've used in the last couple of years, we've probably used a couple thousand now of their coolers, and we maybe only had like 4 to 5 that we had to replace. We've seen a lot of this price range. This is, let me see here. So we're around the 2,500, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's like right around 2,500, maybe a little bit less, around that price range. All right, all of our standoffs are in place for the LS. Last but not least, we're gonna put our RAM in before we get the case out. There we go, RAM is all in. A beautiful Fury RAM today. All right, guys, let's review this one more time before we get the case out. Again, we have the 7800X3D. We've got 6400 megahertz and 32 gigs of the Fury Renegade RAM from Kingston. And underneath this little, obviously, heatsink, we have a 1 terabyte KC3000 coming in from Kingston as well, all in the beautiful MSI B650 gaming edge Wi-Fi. Looks beautiful. All right, let's get our case out, chat. I don't think we've had this case on the channel before. It is the beautiful CK560, which is a case that comes in right around $100, and it's got a lot of value in it. And I'll show you why I like this case here in just a few seconds. There's not a lot of cases that give you everything right out of the box. Deepcool does. And I'll show you this case right here. And this is not me just preaching Deepcool's product quality, but I think they've been really thinking about how can we make things better, both for the consumer, for builders, for everything. And I've really enjoyed working with them over the last couple of years. And this case is an exception of why I like it so much. All right, let me give you the front close-up here as I flip it on over. This is the CK560 in white. Let's get it on opened up. It's not a toolless design like some of the other ones are starting to do, but for the price, I mean, the build quality on this case for right around $100, I think this is like $90 right now for this case, chat. I'll show you why it's really great. Get it all opened up. Side panel's got captive screws. Nice thick glass panel here. Let's pop that off. Pop off the back panel as well. All right, what I like about this case, very sturdy build quality. This front panel is actually just a magnetic recess, so you can access your front fans. It's all airflow. And on the front, we have 3 already pre-installed. These are non-PWM, but they're like 1200 RPM fans. Right here, it's already in factory installed with obviously a dust filter. You can see them right there, perfectly recessed, ready to go, pre-cable managed. Pop the back up and in, our front panel back on, there it is. 240 top mount, really nice looking case on the inside, really good build quality. It's even got a built-in GPU support bracket, chat. Right here, you can see it. It's gonna help support that beautiful MSI card that we had today. It's got a built-in on the back side. We have the built-in fan controller as well. Or is it RGB controller? It's not small on the inside, it's actually very receptive. We've got a built-in RGB controller if we want to use that. We're going to be using the onboard today. And in the back, it's got a pre-installed 140 millimeter exhaust fan as well. 140 millimeter exhaust fan, which is fantastic. So you've already got all of your pre-installed fans. So you can throw an air cooler in this case and call it a day almost. Like literally, if you have not a very thermally hot CPU, like the 7800X3D, you could throw even potentially an AK400 on that. We could put like an AK620, AK500, AG500 from Deepcool. Throw in a case like this, and you just have to do cable management. It's really efficient. So we'll be doing our top mount today. So we're gonna take off our magnetic top filter, and we're gonna get started on this case. So there's a few things I need to get started before we put the screws in. I'm gonna work on some of this cable management in the back. We're gonna take out this rear, we don't need that yet. We're gonna take out the rear RGB controller. We do not need that. We're gonna use the onboard. So we'll go top down, and we'll get started on getting this motherboard mounted. All right, guys, we're gonna go top down and get this beautiful motherboard in. Go for a nice black and white aesthetic today on today's build. Should look really clean. There we go. Everything get aligned there on the case. Looks really nice. It's very similar in size. Actually very similar in size to the 4000 Airflow or 4000D. Yep, very similar. It's got rubber pass-throughs, which is really nice to see on a sub $100 case, guys. But this board kind of really works really well with this case. The black and the white and the silver of this board, or the black and the white of the kind of this case. This case isn't like a full true whiteout style case. It's kind of got like a mixed color. Obviously you can see by the black. All of our screws are in for the motherboard, and we have a front close-up of how everything looks here. All installed. I think it looks great. All right, we're gonna remove this RGB controller that's built into the board. We do not need it, so we're gonna remove it. We're gonna use the onboard RGB that comes with the motherboard to control the RGB today. We're gonna zip tie this last cable here before we move on to running our front panel connections, which mean our USBs. And after that, we'll be moving on to our power supply, chat. So let's grab our power supply, guys. Today we have the 850 power supply PCIe 5, the 850G from MSI. It's their MAG series. Grab our cables that we'll need today. A single SATA cable. We don't need any PCIe, so it'll stay in the bag here. 24-pin main motherboard, CPU 1, CPU 2, and then our 12-volt high power for the GPU. There we go. That's all the cables we'll need today. MSI 850G. Now we have all our cables connected, chat. We're gonna run these up. We're gonna install this power supply, running these cables. Plenty of space in this case to do this too, which I love. I love when a case has good space. All right, let's get our 2 CPU cables installed, chat. There's 1, there's 2. Poke those through. Right, onto the cooler. Today's cooler is the LS520 from Deepcool. We're gonna start working on that. So we're gonna get this mounted. Give you a side angle view like that, while I work on getting this rad mounted. All right, standoffs are in place. Get ready to mount this pump. All right, all the rad is in place. We have to run this back in to connect to our RGB. The great thing about this, what they do is a loop on these Deepcool coolers. The RGB runs back to the fans. It completes the circuit for the RGB signal. So the pump runs off of the fans, which then tie into the controller, which is already wired in that we did earlier. So, all right. Turn this sideways, guys, so you can take a look at this. I'm gonna get ready to start mounting these screws on this AIO. Last screw going in. All right, all our screws are in our rad. Our AIO is done. Let's just take a look at the cable management in the back. Looking pretty clean. Only one wire hanging out. It's gonna be
Here's an answer from Major.
Okay, Siri. There we go. Looking pretty clean. right, let's grab that beautiful 4070 Ti. 4070 Ti coming in today from MSI. It's a Trio X in white. Absolutely stunning card. So instead of using this big white bracket across to this, we have a built-in GPU support bracket, which I love. There it is, chat. Look at this monstrosity going in today's build. Look at that thing. Whoosh. PCIe support brackets back here. Once we get that out, we're gonna put this card in. I love this card. It's also like so it has a support on the back of the PCI slot as well as the onboard, which is really nice. It's gonna look really nice. Shout out Deepcool for that. Having the built-in. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and thunk. Oh, we got the thunk on that one, chat. Sounding beautiful. You can install it vertically in this case. The only reason we don't do a lot of vertical installs is because of the PCI adapters. Sometimes those riser cables are really funky. You're not getting. Sometimes it can actually mess with latency, timing, things like that. So we don't use them too much. It's right there. It's holding on. It's holding the card. It's holding the card in like perfectly, chat. Let's take a look at that. Look at that. That looks good, huh? Nice and flat. I mean, look at that. Look how good this card looks. You know? People before, like, Stince was one of the best cases right now to put a 40 series card in. I mean, this is a bigger 4070 Ti. You could probably almost fit a 4080 in here. And there's still, look at that. Still plenty of space here for put the cable in, and also shut the glass. So let me put the power in. I'll show you how much space we got here too. I run on the 12-volt high power cable, or 16-pin 12-volt high power cable. There we go. All in. Plenty of room to shut the glass there like we want to see. This is a great case for it, chat.
Guys, thanks for coming in and liking another video here on YouTube. Make sure to hit that like button, help us with the algorithm. Make sure people find us and see all the beautiful PCs we build. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button as well. Remember, we build these systems live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Stince. Come on over, hang out, chat it up with us, watch us build beautiful PCs for everybody in the community. And remember, let's go.